That is our trivia on our Facebook fan page. So if you know what that is, it's very simple. In fact, I call it how do I put it now? The Salah Special Edition, because it's quite simple. All you just need to do is figure out a couple of details there, and I can assure you, you'll definitely know who that is. You can go on our Facebook fan page right about now, and of course, drop your comments, and I'll be glad to take them when the time is right. On the show this morning, well, let's just confirm to you that so much is happening, but of course, I'm sure Manchester United fans will feel this show the most because they are out of a European tournament, a week that started with a possibility of 3 trophies this season is down to, well, 2. And realistically, maybe just 1, because I'm not sure how Manchester United are going to get the better of Manchester City, possibly, well, Brighton first, and then Manchester City in the final of the English FA Cup. So there's so much to talk about on the show this morning. The Federation Cup fixtures has been released, and it's a crunch time for both Rivers United and Enyimba. For Shooting Stars, it's a reasonable tie, although there is a newcomer from Oyo State in the Federation's Cup. Their name is Ilaji FC. And they have been built to play against one of the biggest teams in Nigeria. Also, later today, Nigerians are keeping our fingers crossed as the draws for the Under-20 FIFA World Cup will be held later today. And of course, I will tell you all the details you need to know about that draw. Also, in the NBA, it is award ceremony, award time, award doling out time as Mike Brown, the head coach of the Tigers, gets the best coach in the NBA this season. And of course, also in tennis, where there are worries about Rafael Nadal. Can he be fit ahead of his favorite Grand Slam? This and many more will bring your way this beautiful Friday morning. So please sit back, relax, and of course, enjoy the ride. Once again, our Facebook trivia. I started my career in the 90s. I played alongside Mark Van Bommel, Samuel Eto'o, and Gigi Buffon. And I had, let me just put it in a way you understand them more. I had a 20 years playing career. You should figure something out from that. 20 years playing career. That's what this players had. That's what this player had. Please go ahead on our Facebook fan page and of course tell us who you think it is. Okay, quickly on the show this morning, let's get started. And of course, we start from the Nigerian scene. Okay, well, Enyimba and Rivers United have headlined the Federation's Cup tie for the round of 64 this year. The pride of Rivers, who host Tanzania's Young Africans in the first leg of their Confederations Cup, for the CAF Confederations Cup in Uyo on Sunday, would actually clash with Enyimba in the round of 64 of the Federations Cup in Nigeria. The draw was held at the NFF Secretariat in Abuja earlier this week, and of course, it also saw Aqua United take on Wiki Tourist of Bauchi, as also we see Rangers International of Enugu take on Adama United. For the teams representing Oyo State, Shooting Stars of Ibadan, well, they have been drawn against also another newcomer, Adanimogo FC. It's a club that's actually based in Ondo State. This game will be played in Lagos at the Mobolaji Johnson Stadium Arena in Lagos. And of course, also Ilaji FC, one of the teams in Oyo State and one of the representatives of Oyo State, will play against Kano Pillars. And of course, this game will be played at the Bako Kotangura Stadium in Minna. Okay, let's just give you highlights of some other fixtures that will be played in the round of 64 of the Federations Cup this year. Atlant Football Club will take on Dedo FC. Also, Bayelsa United will be up against ASEAN IE FC. We'll see Bendel Insurance take on ABS. That's Bukola Saraki FC of Kwara State. Wiki Tourist against Aqua United. Warri Wolves will take on Beyond Limit. And of course, we'll see Bendel Insurance Feeders also in action on this one. Lobby Stars of Makurdi up against One Rocket. And of course, Gateway of Ogun State of Abeokuta will be up against Kwara United. These are some of the games to look forward to. And moving away from here in Nigeria, let's quickly talk about FIFA tournament. Okay, well, the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, well, they have been placed in pot 3 ahead of today's draw ceremony concerning the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup, where Nigeria is one of the countries representing Africa at the Under-20 World Cup to go down later this year. Well, Nigeria have been drawn in pot 3 alongside Uzbekistan, Japan, Honduras, Iraq, and Fiji Island. Let's quickly go through all the 4 ports and how things will go at the tournament later this year. Later this week, to be specific, later today. Argentina have been drawn in pot 1 alongside Uruguay, France, USA, Senegal, and Italy. In pot 2, you see England, South Korea Republic, that's South Korea, and New Zealand, Brazil, Ecuador, and Colombia. Nigeria, of course, headlines pot 3 alongside Uzbekistan, Japan, Iraq, Honduras, and Fiji Island. And the last pot 4, consists of Guatemala, Dominican Republic, the Gambia, one of the representatives of Africa, Israel, Slovakia, and Tunisia. As of course, you know, well, Argentina were handed the hosting right for the tournament after it was stripped from Indonesia. The tournament begins on the 28th of May and, of course, will last until the 11th of June. Now, leaving football quickly, let's quickly talk about NBA stories. As you know, early hours of this morning, games were played. NBA playoff games actually continued in the early hours of this morning. But before we talk about the on-pitch issue, on-court issues, let's talk about the off-court issues first. And let's confirm to you that head coach of the Tigers, well, he's still the head coach of the Tigers as much as we know, because no communique has been released yet that he has left his role. Okay, so head coach of the Tigers, talking about Sacramento Kings head coach Mike Brown has been named as the best coach in the NBA this season, the coach of the year. This is the first time in the NBA history that a coach will be named the coach of the year by unanimous decision. It was all unanimous from all the voters that Mike Brown, taking Sacramento Kings to their first playoff since 2006, should be handed this particular award. Well, he beat the likes of Joe Mazzulla of Boston Celtics and Mark Daganot of Oklahoma City Thunder to the award. Sacramento Kings under his watch so far have won 48 games, getting into the playoffs, and of course he has taken that particular award this year. Also, Boston Celtics Marco Brogdon has been named the sixth man of the year for the NBA this season. He beat the likes of New York Knicks guard Emmanuel Kiki, also Bobby Portis of Milwaukee Bucks for this particular award. He has been amazing, of course, since joining the Eastern Conference champions, the defending the Eastern Conference champions from the other team that he left last season, and he has been amazing this season, and this has earned him the sixth man of the year award for the NBA this season. Okay, quickly now, let's go to the on-court issues and let's confirm to you that Golden State Warriors finally won a playoff game in the early hours of this morning, defeating Sacramento Kings 114-97 to make the tie 2-1, still in favor of Sacramento Kings, of course. And of course, the LA Clippers also early hours of this morning lost to Phoenix Suns 129-124, and that means that Phoenix Suns now leads the tie by 2-1. Of course, it is the best of 7 series, which means that there are still more games to be played. Philadelphia 76ers beat Brooklyn Nets again, and that means that Philadelphia 76ers now have beaten Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs 3 times, and they only need one more win before they win this particular tie and secure the passage to the next round. Okay, before we get back to football, let's go on Facebook and of course, let's see what people are saying over there. Well, we've got so many responses this morning. It's very easy. I'm surprised how everyone is not getting it. Well, Kaka Jude Edemate says Anen Crespo. Also, Balogun Ayokomi Adedayo says Wesley Schneider. Damola Adeyanju says Andre Pello. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is what Tommy Philip Adiyan, winner for last week, has said. Abiodun Falaye says Alexandro De Piero. Well, Paul Nechi Okike, I believe, says Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Ayobami George Agolao says Nicholas Anelka. Well, Ojediron Akinola Ojeni says Zambrota. Okay, Samuel Awonde says Andre Pello, Falaye John, Francisco Totti, Zibiri Goffrey, Wesley Schneider, Paul Inechi Okike says Zambrota. Okay, thank you so much for all the comments. Well, Ajibaki Abiodun says Alexandro Nesta. Osadolo Nosakari Omori says Gianluca Zambrota. Olumide Andre says Javier Sanetti. Okay, so many suggestions here. We're seeing both Netherlands players and Italian players being mentioned right here. Okay, but moving away from that, of course, keep your comments coming. In a few minutes' time, I will reveal what the correct answer is. Okay, let's quickly go to tennis. And Rafael Nadal is a big doubt for the forthcoming French Open, as he has revealed that he doesn't know when he'll be back from this particular injury layoff that he's on. Rafael Nadal was initially ruled out for between 6 to 8 weeks with a hip injury back in January this year, but since then, he has missed all the ATP tournaments, and now he has said he will miss the Madrid Open, one of the tournaments that will precede the French Open later this year. Well, the French Open starts on the 28th of May, and according to Rafael Nadal speaking yesterday, he said the injury still hasn't healed. Well, Rafael Nadal is the most successful player at the French Open, and I believe the French usually looks forward to him participating at the tournament, and I'm sure he also would look forward to participating at the tournament, but this hip injury would have to heal for him to attempt that. And of course, I'm moving away from tennis this morning. Let's go and talk about foreign football, as yesterday Manchester United were trashed at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium in Seville to crash out of the UEFA Europa League this season. For more from this, let's go to the BBC for the BBC Premier League update. When we come back from this break, we'll review the answer to our trivia this morning, and of course also take your calls.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Paul Sayers at the BBC Sports Centre. Manchester United are out of the Europa League, beaten 3-0 on the night and 5-2 on aggregate by the six-time former winners Sevilla. The former England goalkeeper Rob Green was part of the BBC's commentary team at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan.
Manchester United have just not turned up tonight. They just haven't put a performance in as individuals. They haven't put a performance in as a team. They're going over, some of the brave few, to clap their fans who've travelled. There's not much clapping coming back, and you can understand why, because that really was just such a poor performance. But on the flip side, Sevilla, they've been workmanlike, they've been hard-working, they've been industrious, they've shown glimpses. Rakitic was the star man in there. Other than that, they didn't have to work hard on the ball for their goals at all, and it's been an absolute cruise for them.
Meanwhile, West Ham are through to the semi-finals of the Europa Conference League after their 4-1 win over the Belgian side Ghent at the London Stadium gave them a 5-2 aggregate victory. They will face the Dutch side AZ in the last four. The English Premier League leaders Arsenal host the division's bottom side Southampton on Friday evening with the chance to open up a 7-point gap at the top of the table. The Gunners, though, have drawn their last two league matches despite having a 2-goal lead in both. The Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is confident, though, his team can get back to winning ways against Southampton.
Our players have full belief in what we do, that do know that what is at stake is incredibly beautiful, and we're going to fight for it, and the best way to do it every single day, what we continue to do, and tomorrow play really well, play with our crowd every single ball, create an incredible atmosphere, and win that game.
And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, so it was that Manchester United crashed out of the UEFA Europa League yesterday after being walloped, trashed by Sevilla by 3-0. Well, 4 possible trophies are now down to 2 for Manchester United. Later this weekend, of course, Manchester United will be in action against Brighton in the semi-finals of the English FA Cup. Other results yesterday in the UEFA Europa League: AS Roma needed extra time before defeating Feyenoord by 4-1 to qualify to the semi-finals. Leverkusen also through to the semi-finals. And yesterday, all Juventus needed was a draw to qualify for the semi-finals. Okay, let's go to our Facebook fan page this morning and announce who our winner is. Once again, the question is, I started my career in the 90s. I played alongside Mark Van Bommel, Samuel Eto'o and Gigi Buffon with 2 decades of playing career. What this means is that he played exactly 20 years, for exactly 20 years before actually retiring. That was supposed to be what makes it easy. Just look for, who played exactly 20 years. Players hardly play, an exact year like that. Well, our first answer came in from Ojedino Akinola Ojeniyi. I'm not sure if I should give him though, because, well, he just said Zambrotta. It was someone else who actually gave me the full name. That's talking about Osadolo Nosakari Omorui, saying Gianluca Zambrotta. But then I guess I'll just give it to, the first correct answer. Everyone knew that, everyone knows who Zambrotta is. I don't think there were 2 Zambrottas in the world of football. So Ojedino Akinola Ojeniyi, please reach out to us. And of course, you are the winner of our trivia this morning. Zambrotta, of course, played alongside Mark Van Bommel and Samuel Eto'o at Barcelona, and of course Gigi Buffon at Juventus, and he played from 1994 exactly to 2014, exactly 20 years of career. Okay, let's take some calls this morning. We not only make winners out of our Facebook listeners, we also make winners out of our radio listeners. So let's take just one call this morning before we go. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Samasi.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and you?
Okay, I'm good. You'll be our only caller this morning, so I hope you win. Okay, pick a number. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, I think it's gone. Do we have enough time to take another call? Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Ayodeji Latif.
Okay, Ayodeji Latif, good to have you around this morning. All right, quickly pick a number.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3. Okay, here is your question, and I'm giving you free because it's from this morning. Nigeria have been drawn in pot 3 of the draw ceremony to go down later today for the Under-20 FIFA World Cup draws. Mention 2 other teams in the same pot with Nigeria. I said it this morning.
Uganda.
No.
I don't know.
Okay, you have to call back maybe next week Friday. Nigeria have been drawn with Uzbekistan, Japan, Iraq, Honduras, and Fiji Island in pot 3. Well, unfortunately, that's the much that time permits to take this morning. Very many thanks to you for joining me on this morning's edition of Sports Bank. We'll be back tomorrow for World Sports at 12:30 p.m. Do join us. The weekend is here once again, and Arsenal will be in action tonight. Where will the Premier League title go? Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful weekend ahead.
FM 105.5.
Dear listeners, it's another episode of the Smart Living Radio Show powered by Peak 456 Growing Up Milk with DHA to support brain development. Here, nutrition nuggets are shared with an emphasis on age-appropriate nutrition for our 4 to 6-year-olds. On the show today, we will be discussing eating right on a budget without compromising your child's nutrition. To have this discuss with me is Dr. Othniel Gyang. Dr. Gyang is a pediatric consultant with 30 years of experience.
When I wake up in the morning, I need something to help me start my day. Pick 4, 5, 6 has DHA. It helps my brain to grow. It helps me to be smart. Oh, my own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah. My own milk, oh, Pick 4, 5, 6, yeah.
Hi, Doctor. You're very welcome to the show today.
Sophie, I'm glad to be here. Anyways, I have listened to the past episodes and I must say kudos to you for an educative and informative show. We cannot overemphasize the importance of age-appropriate nutrition.
Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, eating right on a budget without compromising your child's nutrition, how is that possible with this current situation?
We won't do justice to this topic if we don't acknowledge how we have all been affected by the rise in cost of things in the market, especially foodstuffs.
Oh, you can say that again, yes.
However, you can still make your 4 to 6 year olds eat nutritiously right while on a budget. Firstly, plan your children's meals. Focus on the meals and foods with key nutrients children need for growth and development. Example, milk is a nutrient-dense food. Then it's time to go grocery shopping. Try to shop in bulk and stick to your shopping lists. Do not buy on impulse. Someone very dear to my heart does this. Sweetheart, if you are listening, you know I love you.
No, Dr. Oji. You can't cast her now. Most of us are all guilty of this.
It's alright. Consider buying fruits in season. You can go a step further to grow your own food to save money. Money saved can be used for other equally important foods such as age-appropriate milk with DHA. DHA is very essential for their cognitive growth. If you have limited space, grow vegetables in pots or vases or containers. The last point I would like to touch on is to avoid eating out as much as possible. Make out time to cook your own meals. It helps cut costs and ensures at every meal you are plating the right amount of nutrition for your child.
How many people have spaces in their houses to grow fruits and vegetables? Well, this treated topic is a relief for caregivers who have had this question top of mind because of their families, especially their 4 to 6 year olds. Thank you, Dr. Oji, for honoring our invite.
And thank you, Sophie. Glad I did.
Well, here's a tip to ensure you don't compromise nutrition while on a budget. Start the day with a filling, high-protein breakfast. Growing children need protein to start their day. A protein-rich breakfast can keep